Speaking of Bears facilities, let's talk about this. We saw some renderings of the potential new stadium out in Arlington Heights. To my knowledge, nobody on Second City Gridiron has really talked about this week yet, so we thought maybe we could be the first. I'll actually pull up the renderings here on our website or our stream, the video stream. Sorry for those of you on the podcast feed, you're not seeing this, but we can take a look at it.
If you watched the Vegas game, you saw.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. It is basically, it's like basically a copy and paste deal. All right, here we go. Let me share my screen here and we take a look at it. So, where are they calling it? Arlington Heights Stadium right now. I'm sure it's got Arlington Park Stadium. That's right. Okay, so this is direct from the Bears website. It's pretty much what we saw when they were floating the idea of building on the lakefront, which I think almost nobody thought that was ever a real possibility. I know that Warren and the guys, they say, oh, we really wanted to do that. I tend to think that was leverage. I never saw how that was even feasible. When they were talking about building that thing just a little bit south, I think, a Soldier, and starting, there would have been absolutely nowhere to park then. The parking's already an issue. It was just hard to imagine them having the funds to do it there. Especially when they had this huge acreage out there in Arlington Heights, which just seems so well set up for what they want to do with, owning the stadium themselves and having this whole district around it, which would be, that'll be really exciting. I have been a proponent of building it in Arlington Heights. I love the lakefront, but every time I go to a game, it's kind of a pain to get out of there. I'm not against moving it out of the city if it's going to give us, the best game day situation. Now, when you look at these pictures here, my problem is, to me, it looks too cookie cutter. And I know some people will push back and say, but by the time they actually build the thing, the interior is going to have a little bit more team flavor to it. And that's probably true. I just don't think this initial design has a lot of, for lack of a better term, curb appeal, like when you're looking at a house, because it looks so much like Allegiant. I don't want that era, like the old stadiums like Busch Stadium and RFK, where they all look the same, just a big circle. It feels like that to me. It doesn't feel. Chicago is I put this out on Twitter today. Chicago is such a city known for its architecture. I believe you go to I've been to all of the major cities in America, New York, Chicago, Houston, whatever. The Chicago skyline is second to none. No other city has a skyline like it. The uniqueness of it, the creative architecture. And for the Bears to finally build a stadium and have it look so cookie cutter and just like a stadium that already exists, I just don't like that. I think they need to go back to the drawing board and maybe just do something that differentiates this from existing state. Look at what they did up in Minneapolis. That is one cool looking stadium. US Bank looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've only driven by, I haven't been inside, but I've seen it on TV and I've seen it from the outside, and it is such a unique looking place. And this is just like a circle that looks just like Allegiant, and the inside there's just really nothing special to it. Brian, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I'm right there with you. If you were to remove the Bears website, logo from this screen and the Bears pictures there, you could not tell what city this was. You'd have no idea. And that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
At least in Minnesota, Minnesota's got cool design. It's noteworthy. But on the inside, you can tell, at least because they've got the horn.
Yeah.
They've got that setup there. And there's zero things that I can tell that is unique to Chicago in any of this. I think I saw one person say it's facing toward the skyline, but I don't see there's no buildings in that window.
It's so far away. I mean, you'll be able to see it in the distance probably, but it's so, I don't know that makes a difference.
I think it was lazy and I feel like whoever did this, they couldn't have considered that the current stadium and the history with the columns, Soldier fucking Field.
There we go. Sorry, George.
Sorry, George. There's nothing about it that screams that even whispers the Bears. And
You have to
so
have colonnades. You have to implement colonnades somehow in the stadium. You're right.
colonnades, I mean, if you didn't have colonnades, but you had like bear skins hanging down every 10 yards in the rafters instead of flags, something like something bear related. It could be different. Bear teeth for lights or something. Yeah,
It looked like a bear jaw on the end, like around the windows or something like that. Yeah. Yep.
Something. Like the bridge downtown Chicago is and how the river turns green. Like have a bridge to walk to the stadium. You don't have to be a genius, a creative savant to think outside the box to connect to your audience. And this is a piss poor effort. And I am annoyed that they're getting publicity. And like a lot of people have said, talk to me when the freaking shovel's in the ground. Because this to me seemed like you would get talk about teaching, right? Like you would get a C- if you're lucky in my class with this nonsense.
Yeah. I messaged you, I think, or no, you responded to my tweet, I think, because I was like, are people as underwhelmed as me? Because I saw people celebrating. I was like,
a lot of people liked it, and
I
don't
was
see it.
stunned. I was stunned. I'm like, there's nothing special about it. It looks like what we've already seen.
The coolest part is what looks like grass tailgating fields. That's the coolest part of the whole design.
Yeah. It's pretty much the exact design that they had for the lakefront one, but there the window made sense because it would look right at the skyline.
Right.
And they had that in the mock-ups.
And the lake was right there.
Yeah. But here it's just like, you're way out in Arlington Heights. I don't know that that's like a huge draw to have the window right there. And maybe they'll soup it up a little bit and they'll add more character to the inside. I don't know, man. Like even just the way the seats are situated, not a huge fan. Like there's really no 200 level for fans. It's just like suites and then the upper level. I was complaining about one of my buddies who's a Niners fan that lives out in the Bay Area. He was like, "Hey man, it's all right. We hate our stadium too." I was like, "Yeah, Levi's is a pretty plain Jane stadium." But like, man, we have wanted this for years. I wanted the Bears to build a 21st century, an actual 21st century stadium, not what they did with the renovation at Soldier. And man, oh man, this is underwhelming as hell to me.
Isn't it only 60,000 people?
Yeah.
Like isn't that fewer than Soldier Field currently by like a couple thousand?
Yeah.
So like this, I would have to give them a D. I'd give a D. They'd fail my class. Try again. You come back when you're ready to talk to me. But
I mean, you're trying to get $800 million from the state of Illinois to build infrastructure on this. I'd tell them non-starter until you redesign that thing. And I don't think they're going to get that anyways, to be honest with you. I don't think that's going to pass. But
so you make me think of a good point. This is probably too optimistic of me to think. Maybe they're one step ahead and they're thinking, okay, you're going to lowball it, make them think that this is real. We're really bad at what we're doing. And then we're going to come back, undersell it and over deliver with, okay, this is what we got. And they got colonnades, they got bear stuff. They've got all sorts of like cave mentality stuff, and they blow us all away. And they, everybody outside of state, inside of state's giving them money to make this happen. That could be the case, but I doubt it. Yeah, this is underwhelming for sure.
Yeah. So, we'll see how this develops, but this just seemed like you're actually going to publicly unveil this design, and it couldn't have been more unflattering, unexciting in my opinion. I just was so underwhelmed. You guys can let us know what you think. You can tweet us at Bears Over Beers and let us know your thoughts. But yeah, I hope this is not the finished product, and I hope this is just a starting point and they change some things. I do think in the end, if they get this thing built, it's going to be so nice to just have that stadium district, and it'll be a good time to, go to a game, maybe do some live podcasts out there even, Brian. But, we're years away from this, and I just want them to do it right. I don't want to have the stadium for 20, 30 years or more and be like, man, look at all these cool ass stadiums they're building around the league. And we have the most generic, like this is like create a stadium on Madden and you've made like 2 changes to it. And this is what we have.
Yeah.
I mean, like there are so many creative things happening out there with some of these stadium designs. And like we mentioned, US Bank, such a cool stadium, even what they're doing in Buffalo and Tennessee. And then it's like, Yeah, I know Allegiant is rated one of the best stadiums in the league, but it already exists. We don't want a copy of that. We want something totally unique. You know,
Yeah,
this
different.
franchise deserves something unique if you're spending $3 billion on a stadium, for God's sakes.
And if you're going to move outside the city, like, you gotta be extra unique, not
Yeah.
more vanilla.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you, man, and it's funny how this ended up taking up as much time as it did in our show, but you're right, and it's depressing, but, you know,
Depressing. Yeah.
depressing. Hey, but with